Yo, what's up guys? Still on a little bit of a scuff setup, but we gotta deal with it. I did want to make this video again on the Winstart. This unit is just crazy good. I've been checking a whole bunch of the players that are in the top rank. It seems to be everyone is just spamming this unit. So then the big question is, what is the best pair for this stupid unit? And how long will he survive? Will he get nerfed in the balance patch in 2 weeks? Or will he survive for a month and a half? Well, 2 months and a half at that point. Which would also make him crazy strong for the prelims of SWC. But let's look what his strongest pairs are, and then let's look at some matches of those. So Stark currently at a 55% win rate, so his win rate is even climbing. Apparently he's a 55.5 if he's in the match, which is crazy high for something that has this much pick rate. Like, his pick rate went up crazy, so I think that this still shows, yeah, this shows the old stats. I already have seen the new stats. If you click on the unit, you already see the new stats. So he goes up in win rate, and he goes up in win rate the moment he's in the match. But he was in a 33 pick rate the first iteration of this, and he climbed all the way up to a 43% pick rate. So he's 10% higher in pick rate already, which would make him potentially the most picked unit in game. Yeah, that does make him pretty much on similar level as Megumi, the most picked unit in game in G3, plus a 55% win rate. That's absolutely insane. Also, Lima's doing good, but to be honest, all units pairing well with him are actually doing good. That's also why Vanessa, for example, is doing well, because that is a good pair for the Winstart. But let's look at his strongest pairs that we have out there. If we look over here and let's say 500 matches, none of these. What are your strongest pairs? Well, we do see what is mostly played is actually Lima. That really elevates the Lima win rate, of course. But look at this. 61% win rate on average next to a Valeska. Next to a Sonya as well. Makes a lot of sense, because Sonya can potentially kill something, then dies off fast, which does stack the passive of that unit by quite a bit. Josephine is an interesting one. Why is that high? I'm not sure. Vanessa definitely seems to be one of the main picks. I'm actually one pick that I haven't seen too much, and I kind of just want to see like where it does pop up, or just simply not that many people are doing that in the high ranks. Because what if you pair this unit next to an Uldong? Like, you give him 100 extra crit damage. That should be like crazy high on damage output. It just seems that not too many people are doing that just yet. Can't find that, but I do know one guy actually spamming that as a comp. He's currently a little bit lower in the ranks, but he's climbing the ranks quite a bit. So let's look at the combinations with a Valeska and an Uldong. One of the players that I spotted spamming the Uldong together with the Stark, well, in this case, he's fighting against it. But he's normally not that much of an RTA player, so let's see how well he does with the Uldong together with the Stark. Also, keep in mind that he was P1 last season, so he's not that much of an RTA player at all. It's also a really strong pair with a Chandra. I think the Chandra plus the Stark really add well together as well, because you can give the protection of the threat state, and then also the hug, and then also the provoke. So it's kind of what you have with the old Sagar Chandra combination, where you have one unit provoking, the other unit providing the hug. You can do the same thing with the Stark right now. Plus on the Stark, you just simply do a lot more damage. So first of all, not too much damage coming in as of yet. I'm also not really sure about the build that he's rocking. I'm not sure if he goes for a resistance build or like full-on bruiser kind of style of build. Also, of course, you have to still get some units to a bit lower HP to actually see like proper damage. You probably have seen that in a bunch of clips already. But this is already just from base value doing so much bruiser potential plus so much threat on every side that it's just hard to deal with, and he's just clapping everything left and right. So in this case, like, we don't even see the damage increase that much coming in, because, okay, now we're gonna see a bit of damage increase coming in because a unit doesn't have HP. No, did not even see that, already clapped. Ooh, using that against a Yeonhong, Gianna, and Valeska. That sounds like a difficult team for this, because Gianna would take first turn. After that, do you really have enough firepower to keep something going, though? That is the big question. Also, all of these units potentially on crit rate over there. None of anything did proc out. Okay, we do have a proc out over there, but not really the most useful of proc outs over there. We go full damage on this Megumi over there. Good hit right there, Wild Cure. I've also noticed it that playing without healers on the Stark is actually kind of beneficial. So that's good hit already. First unit down. Arsenal sacrifice. Okay, now he's gonna hurt. Now this unit has to hurt, that is for sure. So how much damage are we going to be looking at if we go for a hit over here? 17k no death break. That hurts. That hurts. Another 19k no death break. That's just stupid. Skill 1. Keep in mind, those are skill 1s. Oh, that's straight up unfair, man. That's just so freaking much damage. Like, yeah, he can do all he wants, but he's not gonna go through that. Okay, that does help out a bit. This missed the palm crow error, does miss on the 2 other units. 19k's per hit on no death break. That would do easily like 50k with. They'd also lose a few matches. Probably if he gets heavy up Bruce. It's interesting to see that Bolfric is actually one of the higher win rates against Stark because he can deal damage without actually touching him. If we're checking on the side, what does he do bad against? Vajana, but not that much of a pick rate. Angela is actually a proper amount of pick rate with 518 in there. So I do think that he just kills himself on the shield reflect right there. There's just too much sustain coming in from Angela. Ragdoll does like some AoE critters. That's definitely a thing. The Sarion, interesting. Not that many picks as well. Beelzebub, a lot of picks for that one. But as I did mention, Bolfric is doing pretty good into this unit. Same for Gandalf. So wouldn't be surprised if at some point, if people are spamming too much of the Stark, we're going to go back to an Angela, Bolfric, Gandalf kind of shenanigans where people start playing that nonsense again. Or maybe the balance patch, rather than nerfing the Stark, introduces a new unit that can actually hard counter the Stark. That could also be a thing, because leaving the unit as is does feel pretty darn strong, because it's not just the turn 1 thing where you can interrupt the enemy and then you can take over the match. It's also the bruiser potential. It's also just the straight up damage. It's also the protection for the rest of your team. Ooh, let's go for that one first. Okay. Did he just miss over there? No, I did land over there, I think. Or did he not? Well, there's a proc on that unit. You don't like to see it. Also, 1 unit is dead already, which just adds so much more damage to... I've seen also Sonya's being a little bit more damage on wind. And with the damage on wind, you can potentially take out a Stark. That is definitely something I have noticed as well. However, I haven't seen the most crazy damage output just yet. But also talking, I don't think he's one of the higher on rune qualities kind of style. Ooh, big miss over there. Do we land on this? Nope, do not land on that. We do have good bruiser potential. Like, if you're having an Uldong, and just go for the Uldong Chandra plus the Stark, it's a really great combo at the moment because you have so much protection going for your whole team. You have strips for days. You have a lot of damage coming in. Only thing you need to add is some defense break and you're good to go. So, ooh, that's 1 unit down already, but that only makes this Stark stronger. Not too much damage over there though. But yeah, I'm actually somewhat seeing the damage on this one. It feels decent, but I expected more damage out of this Uldong combination because I've seen Starks already hit like 30k plus. Well, then again, we did see that 19k on a no death break, which also over here 11k no death break, only 1 unit down. So that does that. Okay, he's stacking this passive. Plus, keep in mind we do have the Orfina damage reduction, 20k on the death break right there. Yeah, that hurts. That does really hurt. But let's, after this, check the combination of a Velaska, because Velaska also does increase damage from her passive on that whole team. And one of those players that's doing that is Seiishizo, currently rank 2. Let's look at a few of his matches. Let's see how much damage this Velaska plus Stark combination can do. So we do have potential Gianna coming in. That might actually rock the whole team. Okay, we do have that. Oh, did not land over there. Stark coming in, provokes yet match over. Oh, this unit is just stupid, man. Man, he's playing with all the dangerous units. The Bay is also dangerous units with resets on that. So there's 3 units that benefit from your allies dying at this moment, which is definitely very dangerous to fight. Plus, also the fun thing is that Leo's still in the field, but Sonya was respected. Okay, how much damage are we dealing? Not too much yet. We don't have to sacrifice just yet. But also we're trying to get rid of good crit over there though. That was a nice crit wrong element. AoE stuns. Not looking too great. Procs out. Switch of Destiny. Are we gonna lose this unit right away, or is it gonna survive for another hit? Sacrifice. Good damage coming in. Can you actually kill? Oh wait, if you kill, there's still the Vanessa passive. So you kill, and then that's why Vanessa is such a strong pair with this unit. Okay, Deadly Wrath. I think we're gonna do a lot of damage. Who doesn't kill? Additional turn for the kill. That's also one way. If you don't kill it in the first try, just additional turn to kill it in the second try. Sometimes that works out. Did not actually manage to kill. Has to waste another hit over there. Another Arsenal sacrifice. We're seeing some RNG over there. Not too much of a Stark win rather than a win on the other 2 units, but Wait, are we gonna see the damage on this last hit? 16k on a brand, no death break. Good damage. Let's see what we have over here. Full LD lineup on the enemy side. I've noticed myself that the Zhongshan Lao combination with the Gojo isn't as strong against this whole thing, but did manage to get most skills up. That's a lot of damage already coming in. But then again, did not stun that 100 res unit right there. That's also a lot of damage flying back and forth. Jaeger also definitely does help with his stuns. Ooh, did actually manage to get the stun right there. Did also proc out 12k, no freaking death break. Like those no death breaks flying for like 12ks, 15ks, 20ks. That's just stupid numbers, man. How much is this? 33k? No death break on the squish target? Wow. That's insane. Let's see against Osru, one of the better players from the Japan server. Right away, we take out... Ooh! Tanky right there. Tanky. Does manage to get the stun right there. Does remove that right away. Does also trigger the Nemesis. That's why it's really nice to have Nemesis. Zhao is actually also an interesting unit because Zhao also works from your allies dying. Stark is working from your allies dying. That's some good damage. Good additional turn right there to clear. Does get stuns in there. It's looking kind of grim. I did already see that he's winning this match, but I am not sure. Well, maybe if you get the right stuns in at all the right moments, Chao still has good work to do. Chao still has to do a lot of work, though, because Chao could be taken out over there. Do we get... No, we actually don't have enough speed on this unit. Ooh, if there was enough speed on this Dark Zenny, he would have been able to win this potentially, but casual, 24k. No worries. More with the Valeska combination right there. I definitely do see a lot of people just not draft that many bruises with this. It's just like, okay, I'll lose HP and that's where I start dealing damage. Rather than you starting to heal, and when you heal, you have like less damage output once again. You're really just focusing everything on like, okay, I just want to do damage. That's the main thing. Damage. The moment my units die, I just deal more damage. That's how we're working. Ooh, that could be a pretty nasty hit right there. It's going to be taking out the Valeska first. Does make sense, but is also dangerous. But that's also the thing. There's two dangerous units over there. Valeska's already dead. That should take it out. 25k on the death break. Only one unit down. Can you actually take this out? Nope, not enough just yet. But Chao just in time to take that turn. Does not kill it over there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's gonna hurt. On the crit, how much? 29k. Okay, so no Valeska hit and still 2 units alive, so less damage than I was expecting. But that's always the thing with this thing, man. Normally you can always, like, you kind of know how much damage a certain unit does, or you kind of know it's like, oh, if I hit this with a skill 1 or skill 2, I should be doing this much damage, that much damage. The damage output from the Stark is like every time it's like, there's so many units-ish alive or half alive, and you have no clue how much damage is actually gonna fly in and kind of stuff. That's actually pretty crazy on this unit, so you have no clue what's happening. Then the big question, what if we add Stark together with Uldong, together with a Valeska? Is there any player out there that is using this at this moment? Currently not. At least I cannot see any replays. Apps, I do know you have those units. Start rocking this combo just for fun. Because I think that's hella nasty. I think there's just so much potential for this unit to do so much damage. Plus, what you can do with these kind of... wait, that's more of a... Maybe some people would be playing that. So if you have a Valeska, more gimmicky-ish comp, but it would definitely be strong. And then adding in a Robo. And in this case, okay, that is a lose. Let's see if we can get a win over there. That is a win, but not with a Robo in there. I kind of want to have all of the units in there and then have a victory and then kind of see how that is. But most of the time something gets banned out or it's losing. Okay, maybe it's not as strong as I thought, or they just like is happening a lot of bans on those kind of teams. Because the thing is, if you have the Robo exploding itself, both Stark and Valeska start dealing more damage, which is just straight up stupid. But it doesn't seem to be winning that much, and it does seem to have one of the 3 always banned out. Like the Valeska or the Robo is never making it. Yeah, no, wait, this is a first. That took quite some matches to get that in there for all 3 units on the field. But let's see how strong this is. So we do have a Switch of Destiny. Okay. So in this case, we will also hit this over here. That's a good cleave. We will have this hit over there. That's a good cleave. And then we have this hit with 1 unit dead on the field, which just clears the whole thing. Oh, man. If it works, it looks amazing. Like, I think it's just hard to pull off. But if it works, it looks amazing. That's a nice cleave right there. Too bad that the other units are still very lively at the start of it, but if you have good runes on that, especially with this Velajuel first setup, but then again, Velajuel setup could have been like any kind of random booster that could have boosted the Robo, but yeah, that's cool. That's definitely a nice one right there. But I think we should be seeing good damage from this Stark. He didn't push it back 15k straight up. Oh, he's actually on Vampire. Yeah, Vampire Stark. I haven't seen too many people go Vampire on the Stark yet, but it can be pretty strong too. So yeah, as we can see, unit is doing crazy strong things right now. And that is the big question. Is this unit going to be there for SWC? Because SWC is starting in about 3 weeks from now. The balance patch is in about 2 weeks from now. There will definitely be some kind of unit, probably some kind of weird fire unit that will ignore passives, or I don't know what, maybe new Oblivion thing. There will be some kind of counter to this unit, but the big question is, are they actually going to nerf this unit slightly as well? He's actually very easy to nerf, just lower this attack bar gain to like 15% rather than 30%, and just deal less damage for allies dying, and then he's super easy to nerf. But then the big question is, are they going to do that? Because normally they never actually nerf a unit that was just released. They always wait one patch with it, and then the patch after that, it will actually get its nerf in this case, he is that strong where he is already the most picked unit in G3 RTA with a 55.5% win rate, which is higher than the Venton. It's higher than Oliver ever was. It's higher than any unit was in the past. And it's still people kind of figuring out this unit. So I think that his win rate is even going to climb more rather than drop more. So let me know in the comments, how are you using this unit and what kind of build do you like most? And if you do expect a nerf or not. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. See you as always in the next one.